And I'm going to share with you from experience a few things that I learned because, I've been in sales for almost 20 years now. And one thing, comment if you agree, one thing that is certain is that if your company recognizes you as a strong salesman, what they'll do is they'll end up trying to promote you. They'll promote you to become a sales manager because what they want you to do is train others to be like you. In other words, influence a team of individuals or a team of salespeople to act and produce just like you. Now, when this time comes, and for those of you who've never been a manager before, you might very well ask yourself, like, oh man, should I do it? It's a lot of pressure. Is it right for me? And I'm gonna speak again from experience because back in the day when I was very young, the very first time I was promoted to become a sales manager, I was only about 23 years old, 22, 23 years old. And I thought it was cool because it was a title. And being that young, you just think managers make a lot of money. And it's logic, right? Because sales managers typically get paid based on the production of their team. And usually you make a commission percentage or a bonus percentage based on each individual under your team. And so, you think about it, you're like, okay, that's cool. So, I got individuals making money for me. And you might very well think that you're going to be just balling out of control. But there's more to it than just that, because as a sales manager or as a manager period, you not only manage yourself, but you manage other people. And so then you become responsible for those other people. And one thing that was very, very frustrating to me was I didn't understand, or even I couldn't comprehend how some people just were not wired the same way. So in other words, not everybody wanted it. Up until this day, I still get frustrated that way because you just think like, how come you don't want it bad enough? Like, how come you don't put in the extra time? How come you don't want it bad enough? And it took me years to really learn that not everybody is wired the same. And so I had to learn how to be creative and really practice my craft and learn how to creatively motivate each individual based on their preference, based on kind of their mode of thinking. And so it went from kind of a general vague statement or plan to lead, right? Like to motivate, like, hey, everybody, rah, 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 let's score some points, let's make some sales. Because that's how I was when I was young, to actually individually understanding what pushes each person. And each person was different, right? Because mind you, when I was 22 years old, and this might happen to you depending on your age, you may become a manager because that's what you want, and then you're going to have employees underneath you on your team reporting to you that are older than you. That's some because especially if you were hustling alongside them for a couple months, now they got to report to you. Mind you, they understand how you were as a loan officer, right? So you might have achieved a couple bowls with them on lunchtime. You might have went out drinking with them and acted a fool, and then now you become this authority over them. So there's this weird dynamic. And the only reason why I'm opening this up to you is because if you're set and motivated to become a manager, it may very well not be right for you unless you really do want to take ownership and responsibility, because it almost is like the buck stops with you. So not only are you managing your pipeline, your own production, but you're managing 10 other people's production and what they're doing with their time. You're managing their efficiency, their production, but also you're putting out their fires. You're handling their fires, right? You're handling their customer service calls. You're doing second calls for them. And this goes beyond being selfless, because at the end of the day, as a salesperson, you get paid based on how efficient and effective you are with the time that you're allotted each and every single day.